There's a lot of questions asked by people that want to get into airbrushing, like which airbrush should I get, what paint should I use, all that stuff. But one of the questions I never really hear people bring up is, how many airbrushes do I need? So we're going to take a look at that. Now, years ago, I had a Pache VL, which is a siphon feed. It's a piece of crap, actually. But I mean, it's a t-shirt artist airbrush. That's about all it's good for. Anyway, when I started out, I had a single action Binks Wren back in the 80s, and I thought I was the bee's knees. And then I got a Badger 450, I think it was another single action, and it looked a lot cooler than the Binks, but didn't do anything different. Then I got my first double action, which was a Badger 150, which I had acquired another one a few years back, but I gave that to my granddaughter because she's very into art. So I got this. This is an Iwata HPC. Before the HPC Plus came out, this was the old school HPC. And it's got a 0.3 millimeter needle and nozzle. And this was my workhorse for years. This was the only brush I had for quite a few years. And then when I was working at the motorcycle shop, I bought this. To date, this is still my most expensive brush. But this is the Infinity. This is the original Infinity, the nickel plated, not the CR Plus. But it's essentially the same brush. Now, this brush, I had high hopes for this. This was going to be my detail brush. This was so difficult to use that it sat it was in the box, in the case, put away for years. And then Rob over at Dread Effects came up with a fix and made this the detail machine that it was always meant to be. So I was okay with those for a while. Then a couple of Christmases ago, my daughter and granddaughters got me this. This is a Chinese airbrush. It's a Neo Eco. Neo Eco has since put out another model that has some improvements. Now, this brush, it's not great. It's okay if you know how to tinker and get it to be what you want it to be. And I don't really use it. It comes with 3 needle sizes. I have the large one in there for washes, and it comes with several. It came with a lot of stuff. It came with a hose, a quick release, 2 larger plastic paint cups, and so if I wanted to do big areas, that's when that'll get used, which is rare. So I'm neglecting one that came between this and this. When I worked at the bike shop, we also had a tattoo parlor studio built into the bike shop, and I did both. I did paint and tattoos, and then the guy who ran the tattoo shop, he moved locations. I wanted to paint, so I stayed behind. I gave him the tattooing. But as I was cleaning up the paint booth area, our makeshift paint booth that we had there, I found this on top of a cabinet. This was filled with, it was laying against something, so it was up, kind of upright, and it had paint up past the hole, completely solid, dried inside this whole thing. So I asked him about it, and he said, "Oh yeah," because he had got a hold of an HPCH Highline that somebody traded him for a tattoo. So he pretty much forgot about this. But this is the Iwata Eclipse HPCS, and this is the brush that most people will recommend to you as your first brush. I'm not part of that camp. I don't care for the brush. I never use it. But that's not to say it's a bad brush. It's a decent all-around brush. But anything this could do better. So now, what I did is I dropped this in a vat of lacquer thinner, and I let it sit for a couple days. Then I managed to get the hair cap off. I soaked it for a couple more days. I got the needle out, and then a day later I got the nozzle out, and eventually I got it all apart, and I kept picking at it with an awl till I got the paint out of I got an opening there so that the solvent could penetrate, and I soaked it some more. And then eventually I got it completely clean. There was no damage. I was real gentle with taking my time to soak it. And I saved the brush because he said throw it away. And I wasn't about to do that. So anyway, what I did do is I swapped these handles. Since I still use the HVC, I like a cutaway handle in case I need to pull on it. So that's the change I made. Okay. Then I seen a lot of hype. I could never afford a micron. That's, as everybody knows, the pinnacle of airbrushes. And I could never pull the trigger on a micron. Now, I mean, I should have done it when I was working at the bike shop and making the money, but I went for the Infinity instead. Now, that's okay. I love the Infinity, and I have no regrets owning it. But I heard rumors that the GSI Krios PS771, which has a 0.18 nozzle needle, sprays like a micron at $220 at the time. You get them for less now. And oh, by the way, the Infinity has, I bought the 2-in-1, so I have a 0.4 needle nozzle I never really use, and the 0.15 for detail. and which is the smallest needle available in the industry. The Eclipse has a 0.35. Then last Christmas, my son was manager at Harbor Freight, and he got me the Avante, knowing that I wanted to review it. The build quality is not the best. I mean, it has one major problem, which is when you pull this out, the rocker has trouble going back in. And I've heard other Airbrushes have the same problem, so it's not just this one, it's an issue. Eventually, maybe I'll take a Dremel and see if I can knock the corners of that thing off a little bit and make it easier. But as far as the spray pattern, it sprays beautiful for a cheap brush. The biggest problem with it is, if you look inside, I have some glow reducer in there, glow improver. But if you look inside, there is a tiny hole. But as long as your paint's thin and you're doing detail, it has a 0.3, and it sprays fine lines just fine. This does come off, and this will actually interchange with, I think, with the Neo Eco. Okay. And that same Christmas, my wife, trying to throw me off the trail, she knew I wanted a certain airbrush. And she bought me this unbranded, it's like the Timber Tech 103 or one of those type style. Basically an HPC knockoff, except for the trigger is more like the Eclipse with the piston. This brush is the worst build quality of any brush I've had. This would wiggle around in here. The threads are so bad. I put a little Teflon tape on it, and it improved it quite a bit. But as far as the spray, I can get a Perpetero out of this. It was $10. It's normally $50 on Temu. But he got it for $10. It came with a hose. It came with this mini portable compressor. So, I mean, for what it was, I mean, it works. It works. If I need something to just beat, I can use that. Now, this is what I opened on Christmas morning, and then we went to my daughter's. We have our gifts over there with my grandkids, and everybody gets together there, and my wife had actually gotten me the Raptor, which is the one that I wanted, the Papache Raptor. The Raptor, I love this brush. It's hard to get used to. It wants to just get out of hand. You have to be very gentle on the trigger, but It's basically the same as the Pache Talon, but with a smaller cup. So, now besides these brushes, I decided I wanted to start collecting some older stuff because I saw a video by Barbados Rex where he busted out his old Aztec stuff. Now, the Aztec is Hester's Airbrush. And it's okay. I mean, it's goofy looking, but it sprays very, very well. It does detail very nice. It's just so unconventional. Now this is the Aztec. This is it's a resin body and side feed, and these nozzles screw in and out, and this has the needle and nozzle, everything built in. They come in like 9 different sizes, different like splatter and heavy spray. This is the fine tip. Now, I was on eBay and I found this guy selling this kit, and there's a second brush with it. So 2 of the, I think it's I don't remember the model number, but there was 2 of them. It also included a Pache air eraser, which I don't think this thing even works. And the BL that I used to have, I threw away because I didn't like it. I got another one. But now that I'm collecting older brushes, I'll keep this one around for that purpose. Okay. It also came with some various hoses. Like this is the hose for the air eraser. It came with this carousel of jars and many more jars, because this can work as a siphon feed with the jar. A bunch of other jars. A box of just miscellaneous stuff, needles and nozzles and stuff for the Pache. You know, a few of these side feed cups for the Pache. Came with this old Badger box full of all kinds of tips, all different tips for the Aztecs and extra cups and stuff. Okay. But the kicker here is that this is not what I bought. This is all, plus it came with a cleaning jar and a 4-brush airbrush stand, which I don't use. I use the top of it, the wire part, and I dismantled it and incorporated it into my bench-mounted airbrush stand. It holds all my brushes, all the brushes I use. And all this stuff came back. The cleaning pot has 2 packs of extra filters and all kinds of stuff, right? That was all extra. This is what I bought. This is the Aztec, the metal Aztec. This is the mahogany case. Everything complete. It has a hose that was in here, but it's in the drawer there. This brush that's the sought after Aztec. That's the metal one. And it sprays incredibly. It's very awkward to hold, but it sprays incredibly. This kit comes with all 9 of the different nozzles. Comes with attachments for if you want to use the canned air or an adapter for a standard compressor. Comes with extra little plugs to go on the side, because you plug the one side and you use the side that you want. If you're right-handed, it's over here, and left-handed, you put it over there. So that kit was on Craigslist. I don't know if did I say Craigslist before, did I say eBay? I meant Craigslist. For $80 delivered. So I picked that up as a collectible. Since then, my collection has been expanded. I've got a couple brushes. This is the Airbrushes AEA model. This thing sprays pretty nice. I mean, it's not a ultra detailed nozzle, but you can get down pretty fine with it. And it's all intact and works. Then I got this, and I don't know what this is. Nobody does. I can't find anybody that knows what this brush is. I got it for with shipping and everything, it was just under $20 on eBay. And it has no nozzle under the air cap. I can't find a nozzle that fits it. The threads are damaged. So what I think I'm going to do is fill the threads with solder and tap it out to fit your standard replacement nozzle that you can buy on Amazon for a couple bucks. Not that it ever has to be used, because it's only for display. It's a collectible. Okay. So, and then last but not least, the last brush that I picked up, I did a review here on the channel for the Gallery Mobius 0.2. I love this brush. It's a little finicky, but overall, get your paint in properly and your air pressure just right, it's pretty good. Pretty good brush. So, that answers the second question. The first question being, how many airbrushes do you need? The question to that is, ultimately, 1. If you have a decent all-around brush, you can get by for years with 1 airbrush. You can get by indefinitely. Okay? The second question is, how many do I have? The answer to that is, I don't count this as an airbrush, but I'll say 15. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh. So yeah, I have 15 brushes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 if you want to count the air eraser, which I don't. So 15 brushes I have. Okay, that leads you to the third question. How many do you want? The answer to that is, my name is Bill, and I have a problem. So, yeah, I want them all. Never enough. Always enough. Never satisfied, though. I just love to own as many as I can. This collection will only grow. My next brush will probably be a Badger Sotar 2020. So, let's see what happens. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't want to miss my next art piece that I may be doing some reviews between then, but I'll be doing Dragons of Light by Larry Elmore. It'll be a fun piece to recreate. I love his art. He's probably one of my favorite fantasy artists. So, yeah, like, share, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.